Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at quite a story, a really profound one, traced through time. We've been digging into these sources journals, memoirs from four generations, one family, one logging town, trying to understand the collapse of what they actually called the Extraction Society. We're starting with Alara. Picture her at this huge ancient stump, tracing the rings back to her great-grandfather and his faith in, well, in progress, boundless growth.
Exactly. And our goal here, our mission, is to unpack the sort of physics of that collapse, how those reinforcing economic loops, the things that drove prosperity at first, how they inevitably kind of turn inward. They start fueling the scarcity, the inequality, the whole system breaking down. It's a really stark picture of how the machine built to create the town eventually, well, consumed it.
That great-grandfather, his vision was just pure optimism, wasn't it? I mean, he wrote, "We are carving a new world from the wilderness," really believed it, convinced that the growth would lift everyone. And this whole belief system...
That's the engine of extraction, R1, right? That's the one, R1. It's that feedback loop where every successful harvest just bankrolls bigger, faster ways to harvest more investment, more extraction.
And it worked. For a time, anyway. The sources show the town booming, homes going up, real prosperity.
But yeah, systems get complicated. That optimism, it quickly turned into managing complexity for the next generation, the grandfather. He took over operations and he saw the stock of natural resources be too, not as some hard limit.
More like a challenge.
Exactly. A challenge to ingenuity. So when supply started dwindling, what did he do? Invested heavily. Bigger machines, faster logging. And here's the critical part, that ingenuity just fed back into the problem. Faster harvesting meant faster depletion.
Right, a solution that actually speeds up the disaster. And you see that crack forming in his later writings, don't you? He notes, the loggers have to go further now. The rising costs, the distance to find decent trees, that's the resource scarcity loop starting to bite.
The very beginning of it.
So why couldn't he see it? I mean, a successful businessman. Was it just ideology? Or maybe not enough data back then?
I think it was, ideological denial piled onto sunk costs. He couldn't really afford to admit the resource was finite. His whole business model, the town's survival even, was sort of based on the idea it would last forever. And that denial, it really sets the stage for the next generation, Alara's mother.
The biologist. She wasn't part of the extraction machine. She measured the fallout.
Right. She measured the consequences.
And her journals, they document this mounting failure, the toxins in the river, the soil getting thinner, and maybe the most heartbreaking part, the silence where birds used to be. She detailed the environmental degradation, B3, the stuff her father and grandfather just called, externalities.
And she tried to use that science, didn't she, to create public pressure for regulation. But it was just tragically overridden. As the resources dwindled, the company citing costs, Natural automated everything, consolidated.
And the jobs.
Gone. The good union jobs vanished, like overnight. And that's the inequality engine, R5, hitting top gear. It's that mechanism where, as the resource yield drops, the costs get pushed onto the local workers, while whatever profit is left gets concentrated and shipped out to distant shareholders. The town wasn't gutted because the company failed. It was gutted because its extraction model succeeded at transferring wealth.
Which brings us right back to Alara today. The land's stripped, eroded. A direct result of that next loop, the deregulation engine, R6, which likely accelerated things further. And the land, useless for timber now, it's leased out for these automated carbon capture arrays, owned by the same corporation, of course, the one that hollowed the place out. The scars are just everywhere.
Yeah. But amidst all that, there's this key dynamic we picked up on. Alara's quiet resistance. He's collecting seeds from the very last grove her mother managed to protect, saving the lands, like genetic memory. It's powerful. But the story ultimately lands on this profound human grief. You really feel it when a child looks at this ruined valley and asks Alara basically, did the whole world used to look like this?
Oof, yeah. It's not just the forest that's depleted, it's hope itself. And yet you have that image, Alara pressing a seed, a heavy winged seed, into the child's hand, like embodying this huge task of remembering how to help the world heal. But it raises a question, doesn't it? Is that handful of seeds really equal to the massive power, the political and economic weight of those corporations? Or is that just wishful thinking?
Well, I think the core finding, what this deep dive really shows, is that the final cost of unchecked extraction is that grief, that profound, maybe irreversible human sorrow over a lost world, a lost future. The tragedy isn't just numbers on a spreadsheet, it's the loss of what could have been.
So, a final thought then for you listening. If that immense wealth drawn from the valley's very bones represents one kind of power, what's the equivalent power held in a handful of living seeds? What action, maybe even a small one, starts to reverse these engines in your own world? Something to think about.